So I want to start by asking, what do you think John McCain's legacy will be? A very dynamic one.
Well, I think politically his main legacy is that of bipartisanship, because he was willing to work across the aisle when he thought the cause was right. That goes from his work on the McCain-Feingold campaign finance bill with the then Wisconsin Senator Russ Feingold, to working on with a coalition of other senators on compromise immigration legislation that would have protected Dreamers, to working with other Democrats to help preserve Obamacare in a vote years later. And the other legacy, of course, is his status as a war hero, giving an example of serving the country with honor and distinction, especially during his 5.5 years as a prisoner of war.
Lynn, you mentioned obviously that he worked in bipartisan ways. He's a conservative, of course. He rebuked the president, but he also voted with him in the Senate along conservative lines 85% of the time. In many ways, he was a conservative hero.
Well, he was. What distinguishes somebody in Congress sometimes is not when they vote with the party, but on the causes and crusades that they split with the party from. And that's true Democrats as well. When you have to take a vote that makes a difference, a lot of votes don't. And McCain, who has this reputation and this nickname as a maverick, is because he knew when to pick his shots. He knew when he would speak candidly. He knew when he would disagree. With Lindsey Graham, who was his best friend in the Senate, and McCain served as a mentor to Lindsey Graham, those two are known for being able to call balls and strikes as they see them.
And Lynn, I have to ask you, I know that we can all agree that this is certainly a loss for the country, but how do you think his voice not being in the Senate will impact our politics, our government?
Well, it's one practical matter. It depends. This is perhaps for the moment the most smallest one, but it's the first one in front of us. Let's see who the Arizona governor, a Republican, picks to replace McCain. McCain right now is not a reliable vote for Trump. So with only Republicans have a majority in the Senate, but right now with one or two Republican senators not voting for something important like a Supreme Court justice, you could really have power, use that as a leverage. If it becomes a reliable Trump vote, that dynamic is different. But the larger legacy is he will be remembered, as is Ted Kennedy, as is some others going back in time, as somebody who believed in the Senate as an institution, somebody who believed in government. That's something to think about, I think, because when people criticize government, say this and that and that, government is made up of people. You have people in there that reflect the values of a country that wants to get things done and work. You get things done, from budgets to policy to steering this giant nation in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Lynn, thank you so much for the time waking up with us this morning and to share in on the legacy that was John McCain. So make sure to check her out. Check out Lynn Sweet at suntimes.com.